where the people in Flint are getting billed for the water that is poisoning their children. And they have just received cutoff notices from the city government in many instances. What kind of world do we live in? What kind of world do we live in where we have to pay to be poisoned? What kind of world do we live in where we have to come together after paying taxes?
We're going to see this replicated across this country, right? We see our infrastructure is decaying, and we understand that in Flint, not unlike many challenged communities, 40% of the individuals who live here are below an already low poverty line. Their voice isn't being heard and hasn't been heard. The community outside of Los Angeles called Porter Ranch, where there's $1 million homes, there was a gas leak there. Folks complain about diarrhea, nausea. Not in Flint, folks are actually dying, and we've seen critical levels of lead poisoning. And so, but in Porter Ranch, where folks have voice, they can hire private attorneys and they can do certain things. The gas company spent over $100 million, moved people out, put them in the Four Seasons Hotel, put them into 5-star condominiums. The leak was fixed within 5 to 6 months. Now folks are moving back in, and their biggest concern is have their property values decreased. In Flint, we're talking about people's lives.
Our powers to be, the one that's in charge of everything, telling us the water good when it ain't. I used to have to run my shower, work 20 minutes before I could get in because the water was brown.
It's affecting our business.
Yes, no question.
We done had customers come here want to get a shave. We can't give them a shave because we don't have the water to do it with.
We got to shampoo the people. Nah, they don't want to get their hair shampooed with this water because they got lead in it.
It's a community of over 100,000 people that have been knowingly, which is to say deliberately, been poisoned by a neurotoxin, a known neurotoxin in their water for not a short period of time, for 2 years almost. And this has only been brought to our attention because people have stood up and done studies and proved it, even though despite government protestations. That's not okay.
If it was fingers to point, I'd say Snyder and his administration, point blank, hands down, because they knew within 3 years ago, it ain't just been 18 months, it's been going on for 3 years. Just based on taking showers in this water, I got marks and scabs and dry skin and proving myself, you know what I'm saying? It's real. You get some water, it look like a bag of tea, the common sense tell you not to drink. Around here, it's just a lot of common sense. We can't trust the government, we can't trust our politicians, we can't trust the police, we can't trust the people that's being put in these positions that's supposed to be looking out for the betterment of our community as well as our city, and now we can see our state.
There's so many people out here, man, homeless on the streets, man, because of the shit what's going down around here. This shit real, what I'm talking about, because I live around these people every day.
I think Governor Snyder, his whole office should be indicted, locked up on the water situation.
That's wrong. There's nothing to discuss. So whoever is in the position to do something about it should do something about it. It shouldn't be a debate. It shouldn't be a discussion. It should be dealt with. But I guess that's just a little too simple. It's too much like right. So you got to deal with the shenanigans.
This is man-made. It's a mistake by humans that has caused the suffering of so many people. It's essentially almost a government poisoning its people. And so because of that, and the fact that it hasn't been fixed.
They knew the pipes were bad, they knew the water was bad, and not only did they allow the water to be pumped where they knew, babies and children and families were, but then they had to pay the highest prices for water in 2015 were paid by the people of Flint, Michigan. It's a crime against humanity. And it's a shock to me that nobody is behind bars right now, whether it's the governor on down. The people that made these decisions should be held accountable.
Yeah, I feel as if what's going on with the water in Flint is a complete genocide, and it's an utter and disgusting disrespect for the lives of poor Black and white people, and just impoverished Americans in general, Past Americans, it's just a violation of human rights. And it's something that should in no reality have been allowed to go on as long as it has. And it's something that needs to be more widely publicized, and some people gotta be held fucking accountable.
I think every household in Flint should have a 25 or two 25 drum tanks that can hold water, and the city should go from house to house with water trucks to fill them and to recharge them, so to speak. I think long term there has to be a complete overhaul of the water system, And then there also needs to be an overhaul of the corruption in government. And there needs to be a very close look at how this happened and why this happened and why we keep letting our corporate interests be more important than the people in the community themselves.
We wanted to give a voice to the people here, give them an opportunity to be heard on a large scale. What we can bring with the live stream, you know, our last live stream had almost 500,000 people watch. So if we can raise some awareness for the folks of Flint, that's a beautiful thing, but also offer them some relief, offer them some entertainment, offer them just a moment to kick back, relax, be entertained, be heard, not have to kind of a night off from kind of wallowing in the national narrative about how much they're suffering.
When you're on stage, when you got all of these different kinds of artists and you got all of these people who everybody's not alike, everybody don't listen to the same kind of music, but everybody's here for one cause, and everybody just cheering because they know that the people on stage is here for a good cause.
Really, I'm happy to be in this position to be able to do some things to help the city of Flint. We've been waiting for this emergency declaration to happen, and we've been able to put that in place. We knew that was the way to get some money coming into the city because it was bigger than Flint could handle, the state, and so we knew we needed state and federal assistance.
So yesterday we gave out over 1,000 cases of water. Before that, anywhere between 400 and 500. So yeah, it does fluctuate. Ultimately, we're not planning on being here forever passing out water, but there will be someone passing out water as long as it is needed.
This is a wonderful event for Flint. We're excited to be here and to, you know, have some good entertainment and just take our mind off of some things for a while. That's part of life, and it's the part that we've been missing for a while. So for this to be taking place here in the city tonight, it's just a wonderful, beautiful event, and it lets us know that we're not alone in this struggle, that people are thinking about us, people have been praying for us, and it lifts us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so it's a wonderful thing.
You know, everybody can, you know, load up a U-Haul truck full of water and send it down here, but it's different when you're actually in the terrain, putting boots on the ground, and you're hearing people and you're looking people in the eyes. You can see the soul of these people who ain't got no water.
But I think that the misconception is that donating water is the answer to the problem, you know, when it's not. When the thing is that they have to actually replace all of the pipes in Flint. And that could take up to 5, 7, 10 years. It needs to be an issue that stays on people's mind because the actual issue is going to take a while to actually fix it.
I mean, we've gotten a lot of really good support in the city. People are sending money and they're sending help, and that's so great. My biggest fear is that in 6 months, when it's no longer the newest, hippest story, that people are just gonna, you know, go back to business as usual, and we're still gonna, or the city will still be here, and, you know, it's gonna take a lot of time.
What is happening in Flint sends the message that the lives here don't matter as much as they do in other places. It's a message to the people that you could be suffering lack of the basic human need of access to water, and it won't be perceived as an emergency crisis that the federal government needs to get involved in. An event like this says your life absolutely matters.
Seeing the people here and all the energy and just like how the forces that join up together is just like creating just like such a massive energy that I think is going to affect so many people.
My voice means something, you know what I mean? So I'm using my platform to like reach out to the kids and, you know, say what I have to say, and hopefully they understand that it's all gonna be all right.
You're bringing a bunch of celebrities here, and we do influence a lot of people, and it's a lot of people that's watching us, and so if we show our care for something, it makes other people care.
There is also an underlying issue that's not really being addressed so much today, but I think does need to have a larger discussion around it, which is voting and who we put in office and who we groom and who we help to become people who can be in office, and how we support our community in developing and creating leaders that can represent the community.
Be an independent thinker, read things outside of just because of what your homies read and what they send you. But research it. Find out that it's not just a water crisis, it's actually, you know, what is lead contamination? What is it to have a brother get his blood tested and he's got 5 times the toxic level of lead flowing through his veins? That we have children that are drinking this, that are consuming this. How often, think about how often you actually use water. Use it all the time. Wash your hands, drink, wash dishes, wash clothes, do your laundry, shower, cook. Like this is something we can't go an hour without interacting with. Well, you know, you need water and you need air. And if they're gonna poison one of them, that's a big fucking deal, and we're not gonna have it.
This movement is different.
not your mom and daddy's civil rights movement, man. You know, so it's gonna be some T-shirts, some gold mounts, some gang members, some Bloods and Crips, GDs and folks out there. It's gonna be some brothers from the nation out there. We're gonna center this movement around community people, poor, working class, black, brown, and white people, and we're gonna get free.
Ready for the war, we got our boots strapped. 100 deep on State Street, where the troops at. The mayor line say didn't see the video footage, and everybody wanna know where the truth at. On the south side, where it's no trauma centers, but the most trauma. A lot of cannons, but you don't want no drama. I can't imagine if it was my own mama. Got a firstborn son stole from her, he never had a chance. We all know it's cause he black. Shot him 16 times, how fucked up is that? Now the police superintendent wanna double back. Cops speeding up to the block like a running back. Tension is high, man, these niggas is irate. You can see it in their eyes, they wanna violate. Screaming out, oink, oink, bang, bang, gang, 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 gang. Murder, 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 they mind state. That's just the life of a second-class citizen. Where half of the population is illiterate. We've been through everything, we ready for anything. You don't wanna ride? Fuck out the city then. Hands up, hands up high. Out your seats, we wanna fight. Fire in the streets, there'll be death tonight.